Okay, so to start off, we see Sparrow making a recovery after Marco attacked the ship and saying the Big Mom pirates will have the last laugh. Which to that I say, after what happened to you throughout the manga right now, Sparrow, I have to wholeheartedly disagree with that, but good luck, my man. Seriously, you are going to need it though after what happens to you. Uh, but following that, we cut back to the battle between Big Mom versus Chopper and Usopp in the Brachio tank. Which, yeah, if I'm being honest, despite it having some entertaining bits, this part was definitely becoming a little bit tedious. So I'm glad we moved on from it in this episode. Although it did provide a better transition for when Frankie forms the General Frankie to when we see him join the battle. But one thing I will say is the moment where Usopp and Chopper were staring down Big Mom as she was about to say life or treat gave me some serious goof up. Like that's the first that's honestly one of those things where ever since Whole Cake Island, it feels like Big Mom in the manga has kind of been treated a little bit like a joke or something like that. But here it feels like the anime is, to its credit, treating her a little bit more seriously and making her a little bit more of a frightening person, like she should be. Because yeah, just the whole life retreat thing, life retreat with Usopp and Chopper, that legitimately gave me goosebumps. Like, it is the first time since Whole Cake Island where Big Mom legitimately terrified me. And best part is, it only continued from there, because when she started bringing an army of homies to life with her power, again, just the simple act of her walking down the hall and saying the names of inanimate objects as she brought them to life was definitely creepy. So I guess one thing to say about the anime is it is episodes like this that are making Big Mom more terrifying to me than she was in the manga. Obviously Big Mom was at her most terrifying in Whole Cake Island, but after that she kind of became a little bit of a side character kind of thing, and I didn't take her as seriously. But it's little moments like this in the anime that are making me take her a little more seriously, honestly. And yeah, this episode marks the beginning moments of Momonosuke's execution, which is one of those things where, with the anime, I can't help but question how much it's going to get dragged out, or if at all, because this does feel like one of those aspects of the story where Toei could focus on it in small increments and drag out Momonosuke's rescue like longer than it took in the manga. And honestly, I think it probably will be, because the reason why I'm bringing this up at all is because while we aren't necessarily in danger of catching up to the manga just yet, we are also reaching that awkward phase where we should expect the pacing to start to slow down even more. Because believe it or not, this episode only covered like 9 pages of content. Like, dead serious, I counted. It was like 5 pages of chapter 983 and 4 pages of chapter 984 in total. Everything else was anime only. So, in that's how many chapters were adapted in this episode. So the thing is, we might potentially be in for a bit of a bumpy ride beyond this point, and it'll be a question of how they're going to fill that space. Although, in the case of this episode, it was still kind of fun. It was still kind of fun, like in little moments of seeing Zoro face off against those insect grifters. Like it was all good content so far. But again, from here, it's just going to be a question of what exactly is the pacing is obviously going to slow down more and more, and it's just a matter of what Toei's going to do in order to fill that gap. Like, I don't want them to do it with flashbacks. I want them to try it and at least get a little as creative as they can with it. That's my big thing about it. But yeah, obviously the big thing to talk about is that Luffy doesn't exactly take the idea of being rescued by Yamato too well, and in typical fashion, a fight argument ensues until the connection Yamato has to Ace is revealed. And revisiting moments like this are always interesting, because I get it's in character for Luffy to hate being told what to do, or be so impatient that he refuses to put a pause on whatever he's doing to listen to someone he doesn't know unless there's a reason to. In this case, the thing that will stop him is Yamato having a connection to Ace. But currently, it is one of those things where I tend to look at it now as Luffy right now is being a little too impatient. Like if you really look at his whole like the argument fight that Luffy's having with Yamato, Luffy's acting a little too impulsive, even by his usual standards, and it's little reckless mistakes like that which really will get him in trouble in the future. Because when he does come face to face with Kaido, especially when he comes face to face with Kaido himself, because right now the key thing to take into account, honestly, is that even though Luffy is eager to get to Kaido, he's also wasting a lot of energy just fighting Yamato right now, and he can't afford to do that. He can't afford to waste any energy. So right now Luffy should just kind of shut up and listen to what Yamato has to say. Otherwise, he won't be at the power he needs to be in order to face off against Kaido. And of course, even then, he still might not be strong enough to face Kaido. But at least then, he'd at least have a better chance if he wasn't wasting his energy right now. Of course, we have to talk a little bit about the ending of the episode, where we see that brief flashback of Yamato fighting Ace. And even though that was something from the anime, I think that scene could technically be, even though that was something from the manga, I think that scene could technically be considered anime only, because we did get the reveal of I think Yamato a little early on that Yamato being Kaido's son is actually kind of a lie, and Yamato is in fact Kaido's daughter. But I do got to give the Seiyu credit. She gives Yamato this very tough, tomboyish tone to the character that I love. And even though we got teased of it early, this does have me a little. Just seeing that little flashback has me hyped for seeing like Yamato versus to seeing Yamato versus Ace. Like that's kind of the thing on my list of things I want to see right now, is what the episode where we get to see Yamato and Ace have their confrontation and just meet each other in general is going to be like. Like, I'm kind of psyched for that. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.